Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Hi, friends. How are you today? I hope you're in good health and secure. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your practice. Evil. I don't know where that word got its start. It seems, I don't know, pretty old. Yeah? Certainly in Western philosophies, religions, evil, government, thoughts. But Eurasia is not unfamiliar with the term. So whether it's evil or some form of that word, I think humankind has always felt fear in some form, threatened. Certainly, I could imagine cave dwellers being fearful of great storms, weather changes, predators, one another. Yeah. How our modern concept of evil grows out of those fears, probably many, many different ways. Even fear of nothing. Fear of the darkness, you might say. But evil has some baggage with it, right? Tends to indicate something outside ourselves threatening our life. That's physical. But there's also the usage of the word evil as thoughts, self-destructive thoughts, thoughts manipulated by other forces like the devil or any number of mythical creatures, right? Because we can't take responsibility for what goes on in our own mind. No, no. All of that is to say, not really Buddhism, is it? So why do we see this word throughout all these books and treatises that we read in the West and in Asia? Well, these proselytizers or spreaders of the word, whether it's Islam or Christ or God or Jehovah or what have you, you know, if we're going to be saved by some benevolent force, then there must be some evil or non-benevolent force that it is in opposition to. Otherwise, why do we need a benevolent force? We'll just do it ourselves. No, it can't be possible. And then along comes Siddhartha, right? So, many, many cultures across this incredible planet of ours for millennia have been inculcated this term in culture, in advertising, in programming, in storytelling, in book writing. It's a convenient term because it's easy to well up a sense of dread, disembodied, right? Without describing the enemy to be challenged with just this one word. Oh, it's so delicious. But in Buddhism, we read these because of the translators, the authors of books and treatises, and no matter how high in the academic spheres they are, they can't devoid or detach themselves, many are not Buddhist, from their cultural ideologies. Even if they're not particularly religious, doesn't matter. The vernacular, what they're used to saying, it just spills out of their mouth without much consideration. Otherwise, we wouldn't see this word used in Buddhist teachings. We just wouldn't. We might see hells because those are obviously conditions of the mind, self-created conditions of the mind. So when it comes to this word evil, that is the way we should try to consciously remember that in Buddhism, there is only one evil, and that is a self-created obstacle, because all are, to our Buddha path. Anything that derails our thinking, that distracts us from the goal of enlightenment, is, by definition, an obstacle. An obstacle, because of the fact it's an obstacle to our enlightenment, we can adopt this word evil. I'd rather not, but you're going to run into it everywhere. So in lieu of getting rid of it, because I can't just chase down everything that's ever been written in the history of man on Buddhism to remove this stupid word, but what I can do is give you a different programming for it. Try to erase your previous tapes of replayed mysticism about that word and replace it with this new soundbite that evil is just anything that gets in the way of your enlightenment. And by anything, ultimately, it's the way that you mentally consider it. Because everything is in the mind, yes? Right? You can't point to something and say, that's evil. I mean, you could, but you'd have to realize at some point, even if you were watching something heinous like war, like what's going on in the Israel-Hamas Gaza thing right now, or Ukraine for that matter, or pick a place in the world. There's wars going on everywhere, and atrocities in their name. In the name of religion, almost universally, right? Capitalists want to disguise it as something else, but it's about religion. It's even affected Buddhist groups, and they're not Nichiren doctrine or Lotus Sutra Buddhists. They're treating Buddhism like a religion, and therefore, so evil, derailment from the path of Buddhiness. This is a term most assuredly littered throughout Western translations as an expedient, but with great damage to our understanding of Buddhist thought. And this is why I'm including it in the volume 2 of the book, Buddhism Reference, right? There are a great many actions that can lead to negative outcomes in our human samsaric lives, to be sure, right? We can drive drunk. We can have all kinds of bad habits or habits of indulgence, or the five senses, the five skandhas. We talk about it all the time, right? We're trying to please these senses. And sure, you could say that those are negative things. But are they specific obstacles to our enlightenment? Maybe agglomerated, amalgamated, take it as a whole, sure. Maybe even specifically, you could trace a path to, well, I smoke a bunch of dope, so I don't feel like doing Gongyo today. Any intoxicants, Shakyamuni told us, our minds are struggling to understand this great opportunity that we have for enlightenment. Most still don't even know that. But certainly, our Sangha knows. Nichiren made sure that that was clearly understood. So anything we do to cloud our mind, which is already working hard, making great effort to enlighten, anything that clouds the mind is evil, stands as a tremendous obstacle to our continued commitment to Buddha-ness, yeah? However, to use the word evil is to imply that there is some sinister force acting upon us to cause harm, right? That's the baggage. The fact is that Buddhist thought is always self-reflective, right? It's of the mind. So if we first understand the noble truths, the first statement that life is dukkha, right? Life is difficult. And that it is our deluded mind that keeps us in dukkha. And additionally, that it is up to our every action in thought, speech, deed, that is our path to liberate ourselves from dukkha and reach the mind state of Buddha-ness. It becomes completely obvious that the imperative is on our own mind to work toward enlightenment constantly, right? That path, quote unquote, should it become derailed or obfuscated, evil, is the result of our deluded or poorly influenced thoughts and actions, right? 3,000 realms of the single thought moment. So the evil is not something that is done to us, but much more significantly, totally within our control. It makes it even worse, doesn't it? This is the central point of all Buddhist thought. To escape, quote unquote, samsara is to make the conscious choice to steadfastly maintain the path to enlightenment, or as Shakyamuni stated it, I bet you know what I'm going to say, quote, single-mindedly contemplate Buddha, end quote. Those Shakyamuni's words, yeah? Remember in the story in the Lotus, if you enter an area where there's tremendous obstacles, threats, so on and so forth, keep single-mindedly contemplating Buddha and you will be protected. Protected by samurai? No, mentally. Your experience of it will radiate out and likely prevent you from deepening your fears and deepening your situation into the hands of greater obstacles. Is that not protection? Created by your own mindset. Reminds me of the old saying, ignorance is bliss. I can't tell you how many examples I can cite of times that my sheer naivete, stupidity about the dangers around me protected me. It's almost like those that would normally want to cause me harm looked at me as some conundrum of unawareness and just lost interest. Fine. Is that not a protection? So interpret it as you will. Just don't make the mistake of putting it outside of your own mind. Any tendency, condition, or influence that obfuscates this path is a penetration into a weak mind too easily influenced. Distractions, the monkey mind, yeah? This is why when we see in Nichiren and throughout Shakyamuni's teachings the exhortations for a strong mind, resolve, conviction, it is also the reason for the Daimoku beginning with the characters Na and Mu. See the first volume of this book for more on that, ahead of the invocation of our innate Buddha mind, Myoho Renge Kyo. One could surmise that it is the weak mind that is evil, rather than some other or external influence that is evil. I think you get the point. So that is in the new volume. The next one's a short one on the Fourfold Assembly, and I just added a new one. Where is it? Can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, this word that we run across quite often, secret. The secret teachings, keep these teachings secret or to yourselves, right? I don't like that word. It has a lot of charisma and baggage to it as well. So that's in the book. This book is going to be, this volume 2, is going to be much more about trying to clear up some of these confusing words or misleading words, yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Take care of your health. Look in the description for links to ebooks, books, mandalas, free stuff, the podcast, threefoldlotus.com, lots of free stuff there. In the meantime, keep your practice strong. Savor it. Really sink your teeth into it. Don't be lazy about it. It's not even worth doing. Be strong-minded. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.